These are not crop circles. They're my attempt, obsession, project, whatever you want to call it, to spread Zoysia across my backyard. You can see all the circles. That's where I put the plugs. All right, so I'm going to talk about how I put these plugs in and what I use, the equipment, methods, that kind of stuff. I've had a few people ask me. I've already made one video, but I wanted to try to trim it down a bit, and there were some spots that were kind of messed up the video. But anyway, I want to show you the equipment I used. I used various type of pluggers. I used a 3-inch square plugger that dug out about a 3-inch deep cube plug. And let's see my wheelbarrow here. Here's the 2 square pluggers I have. You can see how the thing goes in and out. I'm trying to do this with one hand. So when you dig out a plug out of this thing, it gives you a nice square plug. It's huge, high survival rate, but it's a pain in the butt to use. And this thing here, I've pinched my hand a couple times on it. It's not fun, believe me. This is called the Yard Butler. This is actually a lesser expensive version of this other one that I got about 10 years ago. This thing's stuck right now. The mechanism's stuck. It's kind of bent up here, but this one's a lot heavier. It's actually, you can see it's a little taller, than the other one. Bigger handles, that kind of stuff. But anyway, these are great. The only part is that they take forever because you can only do them one at a time. Hence, I found this beautiful thing called a Pro Plugger. Check this out. First of all, look, it's a hollow tube. You can see the sky, Anyway, it's got a ring here. They give you 2 rings. This ring here gives you a 2-inch deep plug. You can see where I had the other ring on here. I don't know where I put that ring. It's around here somewhere. There it is. It's just a metal ring. And I had it up here. That gives you a 4-inch deep plug. This gives you a 2. I think the 2 is sufficient. And what happens is, as you plug up the Zoysia, or even the old part of the yard to create holes for the new plugs, is that they go up the tube. They fill up. Now with the 2-inch plugs, I can get about 20 fresh Zoysia cuts in it. You can see the comparison of this plugger to the other ones. It's much beefier. It's a 2 1/8 inch hole. I'm trying to get an idea what it is. What that means is, if anybody plays pool, pool billiard balls, the professional balls, or you go to the pool room to play, or some of the bars that have real pool balls, they're 2 1/4 inch, not the bars with the modified balls for the returns, which are a little bigger. But anyway, so it's a little smaller than a pool ball, a billiard ball, maybe a racket ball, if you remember what they are, maybe a handball. But anyway, that's the size of them. So you can see there's a big difference from the 3-inch ones, but these are just as efficient. This is the kind of plugs that it creates right here. So it's pretty cool. And the reason why that when you plug them up, well, I'm not going to try to jam this thing in here, but what happens when you plug them up is that they fall out the other end here, because the top of the tube is 2 1/4 inch, so it's 2 1/8 to 2 1/4. So because of the difference in size, they just fall right out. So it's a pretty cool tool called the Pro Plugger. I got the XL version. This one doesn't have the label on it. I talked to Bill, who owns Pro Plugger, over the phone. We had a pretty cool talk, and he told me that for some reason this just didn't get the label. But this is definitely the XL model. You can tell too, the XL model has a smaller foot part here, but it's got the wider tube. The smaller one is like a 1 3/4 or 1 5/8 or something like that. So anyway, what I do, for example, I also use spray paint. Where's my spray paint? Oh, here it is. I'm using this, it's a little dirty here from that. It's raining a little bit. This Rust-Oleum called inverter marking paint. It's international orange, or I guess that's what the color is called. Here's what I'll do. I'll give you a little example here real quick. What I do, I'll pick a spot, and this is why you'll find out why I have these marks on the ground. I'll pick a spot where I believe we should have one in the middle to get better coverage. These things should really be like 6 to 8 inches apart, but you know what? I don't have that much zoysia out front to do that because I got plenty of zoysia out front. I just kind of propagated. One day 10 years ago, I put it on my front lawn. I put about 50 big 3-inch plugs out there, and 7 years later, 6 years later, next time I really looked, there was zoysia all over the place. Like, wow. So anyway, I'm going to put one right here in between that mark, this mark, this mark, this mark. Put it right in the middle. I'm going to put one line there. That's it. Why one line? So I know where it's at. If I put a circle there, I won't know where it's at. So anyway, I'll take the plugger. It's better doing this with 2 hands, but I only got one, so I'm going to just step on it. You can hear the thump. Give it a twist. Pull it out. Nice little hole there. You can see the core. The old plug is in there. So I'm not going to drop it out yet. I'm going to do another mark here somewhere. Where do I want it? Let's see. Here's a cool spot right here. So we could use another one in the middle here. I'm going to hit that. Like I said, it's kind of tough one-handed. Give it a twist. I'm going to leave that sit there on the ground a second. See, it's pretty cool, isn't it? Grab my marking paint. And give it a line. So I'm only going to do these 2 right now for demonstration purposes, and I'm going to pull this out. There's that hole. Pretty cool. Perfect. And it's great. It's better to do this when it's raining. There's my hose. We'll see that in a second. Then what I do with the old plugs, like these 2 that are in the tube right now, like I said, it fits about 20, but I'm not going to do that for this demo. There's the old plugs I have from previous pulls. I'm going to turn it upside down. There's the one. Usually the first one gets stuck, so just give it a little motion and it comes right out. So there you go. Let's go to the front yard and grab a couple plugs. You can see part of the side yard here is kind of dead. It's like this is a mixture of grasses that died. I don't know what it is, fescue or whatnot. Over here you can see that's Myers Zoysia right there. I've already cultivated some. You can see some of the holes here. I've already cultivated this area here. I'm going to go around to the other side of the yard. Wait a minute, here's a spot right here I don't think I've touched yet. Yeah, you can see that zoysia there. Look at that. Look how thick that is. See that? See that webbing underneath it creates? So I'm going to take 2 holes, do that. One-handed. How do you like that? I go about 6 inches, 8 inches apart or so. And there I got my zoysia plugs. And you're like, well, what do you do with the holes? That's a good question. I'll get to that in a minute. Look at that. You know what that stuff is? It's called nutball grass. That's the grass that that when you cut your lawn, the next day it's already 1 inch tall. I got this cut Wednesday. Today's Saturday morning. It's already grown about 2-3 inches or so. That and clover is the only kind of weeds I've ever seen grow in zoysia. Everything else it chokes out. All broadleaf weeds. What do you call it? Crabgrass, dandelion. It just can't grow into that big, thick webbing here. Just chokes out the weeds. You can see how thick it is, and it's really soft. This Myers is soft to walk on, barefooted or not. There's other types of zoysias that are a little rougher to step in, to walk on. Anyway, let's go over to my holes, or the ones I created. Now, where were they? That's right, straight line. That's what I did, right? Straight line. Stupid me now. Okay, well, there's the paint can. I know that's the one that's over there. First of all, I'm going to knock these out of the tube. Alright, give that a little nudge. And there's the 2 good zoysia plugs. Check them out. Check these babies out. Look at that. I don't know how much this stuff costs anymore, but I wouldn't doubt that these are like $5 a piece, or maybe more. Who knows? You know, so I got about 1,000, cores back here, plugs, whatever you want to call them. I'm going to get. Oh, here's the other hole right here. Duh. Okay. See, all I have to do is look. You put my plugger down, grab the hose here, put a shot of water to fill the hole up. I know it's raining, but this is what I'm doing anyway. See that? Just fill up the water, the hole. Come over here and do this one. And then what I'll do is I'll take the core. See that beautiful core there? Oh man, it looks like a cupcake. Zoysia on top. Okay, I'm being a little stupid there, but there we go. Just squish that baby right into the hole. See that? All that water. You want that wet, so it helps to take care of the transplant shock. Then I'll complete the square, circle, or whatever shape. This way I know it's done. Let me grab this other cupcake, or I mean that plug. And where'd that line go? Oh, there it is. And here we go. And I put this baby in there. Look at that. Look at that. Squish it right in there. Give it a little push. And complete the circle. There we go. Awesome, isn't it? So, just want to wet these. Probably about a week to 10 days. Let them get established, because they establish by stolons. Stolons are where the roots just spread, and it creates a rhizome bed right at the surface, which actually protects the roots. It acts as a mulch to keep the moisture in. Plus this Zoysia stuff is really resilient with drought. I mean, severe drought. I mean, with drought, you're going to have the greenest lawn in the block. Severe drought, it just goes dormant until it gets some water back. Here's some other plugs here. That was a 3-inch plug that I put in about 3 weeks ago. You can see how it's coming up nice and stiff there. This one, look at that. See? There's a little weed there. I don't know what that guy is. Pull him out. That's a round plug right there. I put that in, I think, yesterday. See, there's the thing in the middle there is the Zoysia plug. That's a 3-inch there. That was in there about 3 weeks ago. That's a round one. That's a big square 3-inch. I started doing with the 3-inch, but it was just ridiculously long and tedious. Where with the Pro Plugger, I could do 20 at a shot, Sometimes I'll do 40. I'll fill up the tube, empty them in a bucket, do another 20, and bring all 40 back here and just start going to town. Here's a 3-inch. It's already taken. I did that about 2 weeks ago. So you see how they're coming up. Anyway, what do I do with the holes out front? I know you guys are asking me. Let me grab the paint and the plugger. Take it with me. Put it under the porch for right now. Just so I know where all my tools are. I'll just set this aside. Leave the paint sit here a second. So what I'll do is I'll take these old cores or plugs that I pulled out of the backyard, and I dump them into this wheelbarrow. And what I do is I just separate the old grass out of it, throw it out. Then what I'll do is I'll take 20% or so of peat moss. Okay, got that for like, I forget how much that cost, 10 bucks. Look at the size of that bag. It's like a square yard or half of a yard or whatever. Then I'll take literally a handful, that's it. Now handful right here of this stuff and dump it in there and mix it up. Then I'll take a few shovelfuls, put it into a bucket. I usually do this all at one shot, but like when I take the plugger out to go get the fresh Zoysia plugs, I'll do this as one shot. Then what I'll do is come around, and here's one reason why I do it one shot, because I can find where I pulled the holes from. Oh, there we go. There's that nutball grass. I hate that stuff. It comes right out real easy because it grows right at the surface. That's why it can grow in Zoysia. Zoysia won't let anything that germinates and takes deep root, which is why crab and other grass don't work. Look at that nut ball. I guess that's why they call it nut ball. Anyway, I'll take some of this dirt that my mixture, peat moss and fertilizer, and I'll just stuff it in a hole. Just make sure it's nice and flat. Sometimes if I'm in a hurry, I'll just use the old plugs, but I don't want to do that because they're kind of stiff. It doesn't promote good growth. I guess I didn't clean that out well enough. Stuff it in there. Make sure it's like ground level. Now ground level is deceiving because of the rhizome bedding that it creates. So what I do is I step on it. If I feel an indentation, I'll put in a little more. If I feel it's too high, I'll take out a little. Okay, so you say it looks like crap. Well, hey, you know, believe it or not, this stuff grows back at what, 2 feet a year, 2 to 3 feet or something like that. I forget what the exact number is, depending on conditions. Look at all this stump ball. I hate this grass, but this stump ball grass or whatever it's called, weeds. Anyway, on my other side of the house, I have a really, you can see some of the differences in the grasses here. You can see where it's nice and green and flat. That's Zoysia. The dark spots, of course, are spots that I've been slowly transferring good plugs into the dry area, which will eventually propagate. So anyway, yeah, that's all Zoysia right there. Look at that. That stuff's beautiful. Good against heavy traffic too. This stuff back here is bluegrass. I spent I don't know how much last year putting 2,000 square feet from over here to about here and right across. You can probably see like somewhat of a line there. That was all 2,000 feet of sod, and half of it's dying here. I don't know why. I think it's because of all the rain we had in June, which probably drowned it, and then all of a sudden the heat spell we had in July. So obviously, you know, bluegrass, and not the greatest. Bluegrass is great for shaded area, but not in direct sun. It just doesn't play well. Speaking of which, shade, Zoysia is shade tolerant to an extent, but it really needs sunlight. I mean, I think you need 60 to 80% sunlight, or 6 to 8 hours a day of sunlight for it to really take off. This stuff here under this big tree here, I'm not sure if it's going to take or not. I might intermix that with bluegrass seeds or Pennsylvania mixture, they call it, for what it's worth. Okay, you can see some of these plugs. Look at that. That plug right in there. That's a 3-inch plug there. But anyway, yeah, if you guys are, if anybody's interested in more information about the Pro Plugger, I would suggest to go to proplugger.com and talk to Bill. Just give him a call. The phone number's there. He'll answer any of your questions, and I think it's a great project. I mean, I put about, I don't know how many hours into this, because you figure that's a lot of yard. How many square feet is it? I think it's 90 wide by 120 long or something. You do the math. So I got about 1,000 plugs here. I know it should go, like I said, 8 to 6 inches apart. I just don't have the energy or enough area out front I could farm the Zoysia from. I mean, the other side of the house is a whole bed that I'm farming it from. But I need to let it recuperate to rebuild the turf, because I pulled a lot of holes out of it, you know. But there's my my MMA bag there. That's another story. But anyway, so if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and post to this video. I'll leave it open for comments. You want any information, just leave me a message or whatever. So I hope I kind of covered everything. I'm trying to make sure I didn't forget anything. Anyway, hope everybody enjoy your day, and enjoy your Zoysia lawn. Oh, Zoysia, that's right. Zoysia, Zoya. I've heard it pronounced different ways. It comes from Southeast Asia, Mid-East Asia, like Japan, China. There's different names. Myers, Zoysia came from, I think his name was Frank Myers. He was the one that introduced it. Then there's other variations. Seems like the Myers. I think there's Zenith. There's Emerald. I think Emerald is a hybrid between Myers and something else. I can't remember. You can go, just search for Zoysia grass or Zoysia, Zoysia, and you can get more info about its etymology and the different strains, their strengths and pluses. I mean, compared to Bermuda and Centipede and Compadre, I think Myers is the best so far. I mean, I got my plugs out front from my neighbor across the street, like I said, about maybe 10, 12 years ago. And he's had it in his lawn for like 30 years, you know. So I know it's more of the original strain from years ago, and Myers was supposed to be a more hardier strain with better recuperation and spreading properties than I think it's called Zoysia japonica, and the Myers is a variant of that. Anyway, look it up if you want information on on Zoysia. Anyway, you guys, ladies, gentlemen, enjoy your day.